Occasion encompasses the length, formality, and format of the document. Occasion includes the length of a document. Although you might have gathered from writing assignments in high school that the longer the document, the better the document, the opposite is desired in engineering and science. Audiences of technical documents are busy and want to gather the most value for the least amount of reading time. For that reason, instead of assigning minimum limits for documents, say a minimum of 1,000 words, engineering and science calls for maximum lengths. For instance, an abstract might have a maximum of 150 words, or a proposal might have a maximum of 2 pages. Another aspect of occasion is the level of formality. In general, engineering and science documents are more formal than publications in creative writing or essays in first-year English. Although no set rules exist for the exact boundary of what is accepted in formal engineering and scientific documents, most professors and managers do not accept contractions, it's, isn't, and should've. Instead, you should write out these expressions. Likewise, you should not begin sentences with coordinating conjunctions such as and or but. Instead, you should begin those sentences with transitional words such as in addition or however. Moreover, while the word you is accepted and encouraged in emails, instructions, and presentations, this word is considered too informal for reports, journal papers, and dissertations. Finally, avoid casual wording, such as awesome, smashes, or pros and cons. While you might say the phrase decent amount of force in a casual conversation, such wording in a document is both informal and imprecise. Reports and other formal documents call for more formality and more precision. Yet a third aspect of occasion is format. Strictly defined, format is the typography and the layout of a document. In engineering and science, formats are more sophisticated than formats for essays in first-year English. One reason is that journals and companies seek a specific look for their documents. Another reason is that more complex formats are required for the sections, illustrations, and equations. Still another reason is emphasis, which in engineering and science is almost as important as organization. Format influences emphasis because emphasis occurs where text borders white space. Because no universal format exists in engineering and science, you should pay close attention to the format specified by your professor or manager. When called on to design a format, you should pay attention to professional formats of respected publications, such as the Wall Street Journal, National Geographic, or your textbook from engineering and science. When designing your own format for a formal document, such as a report or proposal, be guided by 3 principles. Principle number 1. For the text portions of formal documents, rely on a serif typeface, such as Times New Roman or Book Antigua. Note, though, that for titles and headings, you might choose a sans serif typeface, such as Calibri or Arial, because boldface versions of those typefaces stand out. Principle number 2. Use the formatting of headings and paragraphs to distinguish where sections begin and end. One universal format choice is to place more space above a heading than below. Principle number 3. Audiences in engineering and science have specific expectations for the formats of illustrations. For instance, each illustration should have a name, Figure 1, Figure 2, Table 1, Table 2, and be introduced by that name before it appears. For figures, white space occurs above the figure and below the caption. Likewise, for tables, white space occurs above the heading and below the table.